Hi, it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and I'm here today to share my October projects. I'm super excited to talk about a bunch of fun things that I got finished from last month. Some of them you'll see are kind of still in progress, but almost done. And I'm also looking forward to telling you about a few things that I'm going to be making this month, as well as talk about a new organizing product that I'm using for my sewing room. One of my October projects is to finish cleaning up and organizing my sewing room, and I started that recently and have some insights to share with you. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so many things to talk about today. First of all, Home and Hearth. I actually got my book spiral bound, or my son Billy got it spiral bound for me. It makes it so much easier to be able to have the book open and flat while you're working on projects. I am going to be working on remaking a couple of the small projects from this book before the end of the year. If you saw the video recently where I mentioned that, there are just some really fun small projects that will make great Christmas gift ideas. So I'm going to be filming a couple videos. So this is definitely on my list for October to do. I'm going to have fun picking out some new fabrics to remake those little projects in. This is something I've shown before, but it's been a while. This is actually a little fig tree mini charm table topper. It's super simple. The scalloped edges, she has a little template that you use with freezer paper that after it's quilted, you cut it out. And so I love these just to set on a side table. It also fits perfectly in this round Lazy Susan that I have on my kitchen table. So I like to make these in different fabrics. So I'm going to be making, this is an old one with some older fig tree fabrics, but I'm going to make another fall one with the Corey Yoder Cozy Up fabrics, and I'm going to make a Christmas one as well. So I'll be able to show you those next month. And I'll put a link to this pattern. I think it's still available. It is from several years ago. Okay, last month I told you about my table runner goal, and let me show you what I've gotten done. This is Pumpkins and Blossoms by Fig Tree. It's a fall line. It's a little bit Halloweenish. I tend to like things that are more fall and less Halloween for my decorating. This is kind of right on the edge, I feel, but I really love it. So this is a mini brick road table runner that I got done, but then I added the border. That table runner pattern doesn't have any borders, but I added this border because the table I want to use it on, I wanted the runner to take up a little bit more of a space. And I actually used our gray fabric from Summer Sweet. The gray, actually, it works really well with Corey's fabric, her Cozy Up, and also with this Fig Tree gray. So this was my first table runner, but if you remember, I mentioned that I wanted to make one a week for Christmas gift giving, and I really am doing well with that. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 finished. One of them, this one I used Vanessa's Christmas Morning fabric, and just a plain mini brick road with no border. And then I remembered that I had some leftovers from Red Barn Christmas, and I ended up using Christmas Morning for my binding. And so then I realized I could combine those two lines. So I had scraps from both. So this table runner and this one, they have Christmas Morning and the Red Barn Christmas. So this darker green plaid is the Red Barn Christmas. This is Red Barn Christmas. This is Red Barn Christmas. So it was kind of fun to mix it up, and I was able to make more table runners that way. You can see I still have some binding to do, but I only wanted to make one a week, and I've got 4 here, so I'm doing well. I'm going to keep going on these. This one, I really dug into my scraps, and these fabrics this is even more of a combination. This is Holly's Tree Farm and the Cookie Exchange. the Cookie Exchange mixed with some Holly's Tree Farm, and a little bit of Red Barn Christmas is in here too. They're all Sweetwater collections, and I had them left over in my stash, and so really had fun mixing those together for this one, and was even excited that I had a big piece of the Cookie Exchange fabric for a backing on this one. These piles right here, this will make another table runner, and this will make another table runner, and this is a mix. They're going to be really similar to this one, but I'm giving them all for gifts, so it doesn't matter. But this is also a mix of Holly's Tree Farm, the Cookie Exchange, and Red Barn Christmas. And what I do is I just leave these on my cutting table, and when I get a minute, I cut out a table runner, and then I try to sew one together every weekend, and I waited this time until I had 4 of them and took them to the quilter. So I'll probably get these done. Well, and actually this is a table runner also that I've got cut out with Christmas morning tumblers. And we just posted a video for that, so we can also link that video. But that's what I'll probably do. I'll probably get all 3 of these table runners done, piece together, and then take them over to the quilter for quilting. And so I'm right on track with that goal. I'm super excited. If I had waited till November or December to start this, I would not have these gifts ready in time. So I think I figured it out that I really do need to start in September if I come up with an idea like that. Let's see. Oh, this mini charm pack. I should have talked about it with the topper. This is just, I found it in my stash. It's a winter wonderland. I'm going to make one of these. It might end up being a gift as well. And I am going to go through my stash and see what other mini charm packs I have. On the table, I also want to talk about, I'm still working on my sampler spree blocks. I feel like the last 10 I haven't shown you yet. So I'll just kind of get them out really quick. I feel like I've shown all the others. But I'm just mixing fabrics from all of our different collections. Let's see, I think this might be the 10th one right here. Yeah, so this has been my progress in September on this. So in October, I hope to make at least 20 more. And this is my finished, all the trimmings wall hanging. I'm super happy with how it turned out. It does use Red Barn Christmas, a little bit of Holly's Tree Farm in some of the stockings, and I think maybe in the ribbon row I used a little bit of that as well, maybe one of the tree tops. But as I mentioned, this is how I kind of figured out I could combine these collections for some of the table runners, was that I used the Christmas morning binding and found that it worked really well. So anyway, this is that free pattern from Fat Quarter Shop, and I feel like last month I just showed you the top 2 rows. So this one is all finished and ready to go. The next thing I want to talk about is organizing. One of my October goals is to finish getting my sewing room organized. If you read my blog, on my Saturday posts, I have for the past month or so, I've been telling everyone, oh, I'm going to work in my sewing room today. I'm going to work in my sewing room today. And I have been just doing a little bit of time in here every Saturday. And I'm actually going to pop up a picture on the screen right now, because sometimes when you're cleaning and organizing, it gets worse before it gets better. And we always see the clean, bright, finished products and the clean spaces. And I thought, you know what, I really need to share this picture. So I pulled out my phone that day and I took this picture, because it's basically taken from where I'm standing right now, and or maybe just a little bit back. And you'll see how I had to pull all this stuff out, and it was just an absolute mess, but it's back to normal here. And I want to show you a new product that I'm using to help myself get organized. I had a whole series of steps that I took when I started organizing, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through those and then show you kind of one of the things that I had that wasn't working and why I am showing you this new product. Just a little bit more about my cleanup project that's been going on for a little bit. I really want to get it done before the end of the year and hopefully by the end of October, so that I just kind of have a clean slate and I'm ready to go with new projects and don't have to think about it during the holidays. But what I've started doing is just sorting. I've ended up with some little piles throughout the room, and so I've been sorting those piles. I've been making sure my flat surfaces were clear and clean, and that's been really helpful. And what I realized though was it really is my project storage that is kind of giving me an issue right now. I just have so many things going on, and I have a lot of scraps, although I am working through those Christmas scraps at a pretty good rate. But I've been using these little containers for years, and I think I got them at Container Store. I might have gotten some at Target. They're good because they have these handles that fold down so that you can, stack the baskets. And I've liked them because they have air vent holes. But they're just not super large, and is one of the issues. I feel like I've wanted to store some larger things. And the other thing is that sometimes these handles kind of get twisted, and if you're putting them away quickly and the handles get twisted, they end up like this, and I don't know. So I just started looking for some other containers, and I'm super happy with what I found. These are called Smart Store, and I found these on Container Store. I love them because they have the vent holes, but they're a better quality plastic than this, and you can get lids for them. So they have these bamboo lids. They also have plastic lids, which are cheaper. I really like the look of these lids. So then you can stack them, and they also come in 3 different sizes. So there's the medium size. Okay, and the lids work on all of them. They're interchangeable. And then there's also this small size. So, and again, the lid works on it as well. If you're not stacking them, they do nest for storage if they're not being used. And one thing that's so important is you need to measure your space. So I had to measure before I started. Let me move a couple of these out of the way, to make sure that they were going to work where I wanted them to work. On the shelves behind me, I will be able to use them turned this way. So the depth was fine. There's actually some cubbies on the side of this cutting table, and I will be able to use them either way. The cubbies are deep enough that I can slide them in this way. And this was the other thing I liked. You can get these little, they're called basket tags. I'll link all of these in the description. But you can write on these with a dry erase marker. And I don't know why that was such a fun thing for me, but that was super, super great. And they just clip on. Can you see that? So they just clip onto the basket, and I'll be able to write what's in it. And if I change the contents, I can just wipe it off with a paper towel. And so anyway, I started out with, I think I got 4 large, 2 medium, and 2 small. And I'm not going to buy any more until I get them all filled and labeled, because I might not need any more. But I have several spaces where I can use them, and I'm just super, super happy with them. So, and I also feel like this smaller size, I mean, it is so much bigger than these. I'll be able to fit so much more in here, and I feel like it's going to be less cluttered because I will have fewer of these baskets that I need to have around. And as I mentioned, I'm super happy with how they, how the lids go on and how they stack, still have the airflow. Okay, that's it for the October projects. We are posting this really early in the month, so if I get a lot done and we have a chance, we might even slide in an update video later this month, but for sure we'll be back early in November with finishes and more things to work on for that month. We'll have everything linked in the description below. And if you enjoyed this post, I hope that you'll share it with a friend, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.